I just got finished making my coffee, so that's why I haven't adjusted the lighting yet. Oh, this part first, that part second. Okay, so now that we could see how with that, how are we? Don't answer that question. I don't really want the answer. I just want to know that you're okay, because I'm okay. The gang's all here. All right, all right, all right. Mm-mm-mm. Magnificent. So I smelled the cookouts that were going on. Hopefully, you guys ate safe. That was grill safe. That was meat safe. Everybody made sure things got to the right temperature. There was no salmonella, and food storage was of the plenty so that you can put things away good, right? Because if you don't, things can happen, stomachs upset, that sort of thing. So it's something about protecting your gut, protecting your health, protecting the things that you eat, the things that go into your body. So make sure that you're safe around who you're safe around. You can close your eyes. If you're around someone who you can't really close your eyes around at night, 9 times out of 10, you don't want them going in and out of your fridge. So the way to do that is to avoid company and spending the night. But some of us live a really risky life. We know that we're inviting enemies in and out of our house all the time because, hey, some of you guys, even though you don't admit it, you are a running enemy. So you kind of know what goes with the flow. So you're kind of really hyper vigilant because you know the things that you're actually capable of. So you know that those things can come around to you very fast. So you keep a very small circle because you know the things you. Unfortunately, for some of us going forward, it's going to be a bit paralyzing knowing the things that you know, especially as you get older and you're not able to really take good care of yourself, knowing that you're part of some things that you shouldn't really be part of. But the thing about it is, your knowledge is not what it's going to free you. Actually, your knowledge is what's going to put you in a mental prison because a lot of things you can't really repeat. Because if people really knew the things that you knew, they'd understand that why things happened the way they happened around them because it was because of you. And you actually had the gall to sit there in their face knowing that you were the one that was making it happen. And you'll see some of it sometimes in my chats and things of that nature. You'll think that, hey, that's a dumb, stupid person saying that in her chat. No, no, no. No, no, I beg to differ. There are quite a few people with very high Qs in my chat, and they're here for the full purpose of making me seem as though I don't have an IQ. So don't get it twisted. There are some things going on. There are dual things going on all the time. At the same time, two things can exist. So I think I exist in a bit of a paradox. Okay, all right. So part of me is I shift the paradigm for some of us. Okay, so someone needs some answers, and I'm here to give some. Hey, I got a feather. Birds of a feather flock together. And another thing I used to think of, I used to be part of a little girly group back in I guess it was middle school, high school. It was like in between some things, right? And we weren't always like the most innocent. We used to sneak off sometimes, right? So what happened was we were singers. There was me, and there was Jay. I'll say just the initials, right? And the thing about it is, she didn't do quite bad, but she also ended up, I didn't know, connected with someone who and their family, and I ended up connected with that same exact family. It was weird, right? But it was like a warning sign, it was a red flag. She didn't look very happy to be connected to that family, even though they felt as though they were the greatest thing on earth. Melanin rich, yeah. Shicey as shit, absolutely. So that part was that part. So when it got to Jay, and I realized that someone was turning Jay inside out. The way she used to post, she was very poetic. She had a lot of skill. But the thing about it is, Jay had started saying things and started, posting things, and some of it made sense, some of it didn't, and some of it was beautiful, and some of it was like, it was beautiful, ugly, ugly, beautiful. It was like she was trying to communicate something that she was not able to word. And then I saw that they had taken her little sister from her, and her sister was very much a truth teller. She would just shout it out as it was. And I realized that they were turning Jay inside out. And I realized after going through my situation just a little bit that they were sacrificing Jay for her brother and her mother to not have the guilt of the karma for what they allowed to happen to Jay and her little sister. So when I saw that Jay was losing it, I mean, a little bit losing it, I realized that not only did they put her sister's kids on her, they just drove her the rest of the bit crazy. And I don't know where she disappeared to. I had to disconnect because it was pulling me in a way and I was like trying to figure out. But then I realized that we were both related by a string. We all had a common string. So when I started to follow the feathers and the strings, it all led to this big plethora of information. So shout out to Jay. I know you're still there. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I couldn't understand what you were going through. And now that I'm here, it was the people surrounding you. It was your cousin that decided that she wanted to be a part of the upper echelon and she wanted to go to church and praise his name while all of a sudden praising in vain because she took the money to whatever happened in your situation. Okay, the tower goddess, the veggie freak that it didn't quite turn for. See, when she got body positive and then the positivity wasn't happening to her body, I was able to watch these things in real life, and then I realized that she wasn't really helping you. It was exploitation, and it was though as she didn't want me to be friends with you, she wanted to guard you away from me, because to be around me would have made some sense out of you. And I apologize if I didn't reach out the way I needed to at the time. It's because I still had to understand my situation. I had to understand my posture in the thing, because I had realized that everyone was basically being pushed and pulled in ways in which I wasn't able to voice. It's not that I didn't know. It's just that I wasn't able to put words to it because I needed to put the right words to it. That's one thing about me. I will not say things before I'm ready to put the words to it, because people are so quick to be creative and say that you're crazy and dismiss you and things of that nature. So I don't like to speak before time because I need to know exactly what I'm saying before I go in there. Much like a lawyer, much like a judge, much like the people who go in and represent you. So obviously you have to study them as well, because if they're going to represent you, you need to know if you're going to be broken down in such a way, right? All right. So I realized a certain something about the little league of heifers that keep surrounding me. They remind me of Trick Baby. I call him Trick Baby because I realized that every child he had was to keep him open to certain things. And when my child's father decided to start filling out papers and doing certain things in the nature and not trying to do what he had to do, even though he had to do it with, it reminded me of someone else's business model and how he ended up with all these kids, and he made sure that they ended up on government assistance, and he still didn't wasn't able he was able, he had more than enough money, but he still made sure strategically they ended up on government assistance, because why would he pay for that? He just put all of the mothers through hell and make sure that they ended up on government assistance, and then wave little shit over top of their heads, including little broads. Stay with me here. Stay with me. So when I mentioned a while back that some of your fathers are watching you sell coochie, and it's not because he can't say anything, it's because he took a cut. And this is why he's not saying anything, is because he got paid first. Before you went shopping, your father got paid to either let you do it or bring you over there, or just make sure you had enough money to get back and forth over to the older guy's house. So some of you have been prepaid for. Maybe I've been through that before, but right now we're talking about you. Um, it's been very far and few between for me, because I know when my daddy was alive, there was no such thing that was going to happen to me, and didn't have to happen to me. And it was very much a choice of mine whether I did anything or not. And 9 times out of 10, I made sure I didn't because I didn't want to, right? He showed me myself in such a way that he knew that I could always go about this world and really not have to do that. So Pardon me if someone didn't give you the option or made you feel as though you didn't have the option. Honestly, you should never wait for anyone to give you an okay, especially if you know you're good at some things. Go ahead and explore your options. Laying on your back should be like the very last resort, if a resort at all, because that could you could get up with so many things by laying on your back with some of these people. And for some of these people, they don't care about your brain or how much you make or how quality you are. Laying on your back is the only quality that you'll ever have for them, and it's so sad to say that you have to decide to deal with that. Okay. I remember I met this woman. She was a divine feminine. She was a divine feminine. However, I think she had fallen due to life's challenges and setbacks. However, I'm not so certain now after looking that all those setbacks were exactly setbacks. After a while, when a woman keeps getting pummeled and pummeled through life, sometimes she does have to take other options. And I think this is the situation because this woman had nothing but divine masculines as sons. The daughters not so much not so much divine, but they had an opportunity to learn. However, that opportunity was stolen from them by the way the mother was basically pummeled with life's decisions by the men in which she came into contact with. However, I really feel as though that was a job of hers because if you think about every man child that she had, all of them were divine. All of them had inheritances. All of them came from pretty decent families, right? So as though she went about and she picked the creme de la creme and she had kids with each creme de la creme. And the issue became when I was around, I watched each one of them check out in one way or another, either mentally, physically, or just ultimately. And it made me look at this person and realize that this woman was now harvesting off of her divine masculines, which means she's a fallen because she was divine as she was picking the men, but at some point she had become fallen due to whatever life's choices. So you have to understand when a person has more than one baby mother, more than one baby father, and they keep doing it, eventually they know what they're doing. They're harvesting energy, they're harvesting good people. So we're going to take that, wrap that up, and put that to the side. And I'll give you some obituaries later because these are the men that I know of that I was able to be exposed to, but never got a chance to know because this is the thing. Someone knew who I was before I knew who I was. They knew that I had some kind of effect on people into where my communication would basically clear the lines, would clear something in a person to where they would feel some kind of pull or drawn towards something that was bigger and more vast than this here situation. So let's get into it. Yes, 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 yes. I do understand that there is somebody that is still claiming courtship or partnership with me. I am so single. I am not married. I'm not in any relationship. There's no one that can claim they cohabitate or anything with me. So I have to snatch that lie away from you. I cannot allow you to even say such a thing. I have been divorced since May the 1st, 2023. If he doesn't like it, he's going to have to eat the truth, and that's what it is. I am not with anybody. I am not hooking up with anyone on the side. I don't care for that. And it's not necessary. It's not necessary. God has given me enough to take care of what I have to take care of, and I'll keep it that way. Thank you. Thank you. So I have this feather, I have this heart, and I have this obsidian. And makes me talk. Obsidian's negative energy, lapis lazuli. It's very open. It's a very nice signature, this blue. And it's like denim. It has small flecks in it. So it's a bit of marbleization into it, which means there's a variation here and there. So forth and so on. We're still in the Proverbs part. I'm still doing Proverbs. We're doing, what is that? I always love to say Ecclesiastes out loud because it's so hard to say. It is. So, hear your children. Okay, so we're on Proverbs 4. Proverbs 4. And that is why I'm smiling because I don't have anybody's son, uncle, father, daddy, uncle, whatever you want to call them, asking me to do things just to prove that they're the man for that day, that moment, or that hour, because they know that they can do them themselves. And the ones that can't do them themselves, they just have a directive for domination. And that's crazy because I have a situation and where it's going to crack you up. But let's do this Proverbs first before I get into it because I have a feeling that someone does not want me to say what I am going to say, right? I'm definitely going to say it because I keep catching you following me, and it's crazy because I knew you were following me back then because of the things that you would say. I just wouldn't respond to what you were saying. It's just that I knew you had been on my page and on my platforms because you would say little small things, and then you would pop up with these little girls and say things. And I guess you were trying to triangulate me with the little girls, but the thing about it is, I knew what you were doing partly because you would tell me and partly because you would hint at it. And one day when I was giving you your ADL care in the morning, the way you were trying to tap into my energy as I was so close to you, your mouth was open and you nearly drooled on me. And I peeped it and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, okay, so this person feels as though I'm a challenge. He's going to try to challenge my professionalism by trying to triangulate me and make me feel as though I am missing out on something that I'm indeed not missing out on. However, you think that you know my life and you think that you know the whole realm and the whole extent of how my things work. I've been around way greater people than you. So when you decided that you wanted to extort me for $8 extra, I knew that it was not about money. It was about your pride. It was about domination. It was about trying to break me, make me like the people that you have seen and experienced in your life. However, you've never experienced a thing like me. You ain't never met a friend like me. And it's true a lot. A lot of you have never met anything like me because you're trying to figure out why I don't function the way you've gotten other people to function before. And it's because I'm not them. I'm not them. I've seen things that you haven't seen. I've been places that you don't want to go. And I listen to things that you probably listen to, but you've always told yourself that you're smarter than that, so you don't need that. And that's where we lose sight of things because I feel as though I can always learn, and you feel as though you could always teach. However, you haven't taught yourself enough to know me. Let's get on with it. All right. So right now, I'm just looking for something to place on my head at the time because I like to put something on my head. Okay. Had to find me a scarf. Okay. So we're in Proverbs book 4, and 5 will be the last of this series, and we're going to find another place to because I'm sure you can take the reins from here, right? Okay. Ooh, excuse me. A little belchy. A little belchy. All right. Hear ye children the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law, for I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. That is important. Keep that. He taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou doest embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom, I have led thee in right paths. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. Take fast hold of instruction, let her not go, keep her, for she is thy life. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of the wickedness, and drink the wine of violence, but the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is a darkness, the know not they know not what they stumble. My son, attend to my words, incline thine ear unto my savings. Let them not depart from thine eyes, keep thee in the midst of thine heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all thy diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a froward mouth and perverse lips put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. So even the instruction says you should have a straight path, straightforward. You shouldn't have to look to the right, to the left. If knowing thyself is what you say you do, then why are you looking to neither man or woman for your answers when it is in the Most High and inside yourself? Sure, you can take some opinions, you should take some suggestions, but having a growth minded, knowing that you would have to take all information, research it, and weigh it yourself, test the spirit. Test the spirit, okay? So, in the first part of this, it says, hear ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. I give you good doctrines, forsake ye not my law, for I was my father's son tender, and only beloved in the sight of my mother. That is the part in which I wanted you to look at. So right now we have a situation where as though a lot of people were not loved by their fathers the way that they thought that they were loved by their fathers, and the only love that they got from their mothers was very conditional. I'll repeat. A lot of us will understand that we didn't get really genuine love from our fathers, and the love that we got from our mothers were indeed conditional. Now, some of the mothers that did love unconditionally, they were the ones that got the really bad end of the stick. Loving a child endlessly and unconditionally, knowing that that child is going to be programmed to hate your love and see your love as a weakness. Even though your love did feed, did nourish, did teach, did make them grow strong, it is going to be thrown in your face by the father who could not do any of what you were able to do. So the child has to be reprogrammed to feel as though whatever you did was bullshit. And everything that he did not he lacked to do was done for their own purpose of being strong. However, your father is not strong. He still leans on you, right? You still have to buy your father things, right? For those who know, they know. Some of you did come up with weak fathers, and the only strength that your father would have is by the woman that he could wrestle out of her mind. So a lot of your fathers are basically living survival through other women's minds or lack thereof. Did I say the quiet part out loud? Yes, I did. Oh, there goes the energy throwers. Thank you. You guys are the diuretic I never knew I needed. So, yesterday I went to doing some reconnaissance on some of my platforms, and I realized that there were quite a few people who do not like me, still following me, still keeping up with my whereabouts and my do to do's. And the craziest part about it is the ones that are really doing that are the ones who are basically hunting me like an animal. And some of the animals that you sicked on me was the little league of heifers that you've got coming around me. I realize that you've purchased and swiped and cash app these chicks quite a few times because they're coming to you not only with information about me, but with open booties so that they can be the buffet in the point time. But you don't pay them as much if they don't have as much information about me. So I guess they haven't figured that one out. They get sent back. And the fact that you got one idiot that's willing to just face the whole magnitude of everything, all for the sake of getting information or getting close to me or coming through with some old queen of the damned plan that she has going on. Quite interesting, but I'd love for you to stop sending the kids around because I feel as though you're putting the kids in danger. And if I know anything about these pedophiles, they'll touch your children. They'll harvest energy from anyone that's around because not so much as them being gay or anything. They just want to dominate something and they're sex addicts. And if you're not willing to do it, they'll take your kid in the process. That's another reason why I don't let anyone watch my child because my child looks a bit like me. And if I know these horn bugs, if they'll do the thing to me, they'll do the thing to my child because my child looks exactly like me. And you guys are masochists. So the fact that you want to see me hurt and have tried to hurt me over and over again through remote things means that you would definitely try to do the same to my son. And you guys have kids, and it's so awesome that it's going to be the karma that some of you, it's not going to be jail. It's going to be, you're going to be helpless and you're going to not be able to say anything because of your knowledge in the part that you took in my punishment. You won't be able to come forward and do anything because it's going to make it very, very obvious that you played a part in a lot of other things. So a lot of your karma is going to be sitting there and having to do nothing. You can't do anything. You're going to be paralyzed by your knowledge, by your connections, and by the things that you do, by your phone, by the history that you have. You will be paralyzed to do anything regardless. As you get old, some of you already can't do anything but make phone calls. But the thing about it is the people that you're making phone calls will still be able to walk. And the thing about it, they're getting old too. So now that the people that you are dispatching are getting old and they're starting to get paralyzed and they're not going to be able to do as much and put hand to and get their hands as dirty, it's going to be wondrous watching them watch their loved ones go through the things that I'm going through or have gone through, and they'll be able to do nothing because of the things that they know. Their hands will be tied. They'd have to go too hard. And some of you haven't gone hard at all, anything beyond going at other people. Kings of New York. Do you remember the Kings of New York? Frank White was his name. Frank White. Oh, you have the same, kind of same brain as mine. Is that I don't have a penchant for violence like you do. But you do know when I say things, I don't say things because I'm just saying things. They go deeper than that. Okay, dig a little deeper. So, Kings of New York. Do you remember about Kings of New York? They had Freddie Jackson in there, and it had what's that guy that played Frank White? He had a very dark soul, and he wanted to rap, and he wanted to be very political and things of that nature. Oh gosh, I love when I speak like this. This means I'm doing my little Sherlock Holmes thing. That means I'm going up in my head and I'm pulling out the clues in which I understand. And yes, Frank White, very divisive. Everybody's so freaking creative. And the things about it, you guys wear the cutest little watches. The cutest little watches, which makes me know where I need to be looking at the direction. And when I see that big ass watch, as you caught pig slop in the morning in the truck, I realize that the Kings of New York is exactly what's happening on. It's happening on. And you know how it had like 5 boroughs? Now it's like 5 bureaus. So it's like 5 bureaus underneath the Kings of New York, but it's not New York. It could just be that, in Maryland, we have a lot of the same streets and things of everybody neighbors. So sometimes when they say Bayou, they mean Orleans Street. You know what I'm saying? Because that's Louisiana. Orleans Street is south, right? So I understand a lot of the things have to do with the streets that are common in other states. Stay with me here because my brain is not like your brain. So when I started thinking about the Kings of New York and how things went and how things were halfway political and in the streets, and how one hand wrapped, wrapped around the other and get everything done. I realized that everything was in close proximity for a reason. And the little boy with the train fixation, oh gosh, the little boy with the train fixation, he thinks so hard. Sometimes he's just like walking beside me, and what were you going to explain to him when one of his favorite people he likes to watch just disappeared and he got a little sad? You would have been responsible for making one of his favorite people that he likes to watch disappear. The one person who he would have loved for you to replace his mother with, you're trying to disappear. By the way, what the fuck did you do with my goddamn golds? That's what you did the damn ritual on my gold teeth, because that was the closest you could get to my DNA, right? You stole my gold teeth. Imagine a person like that driving $100,000 car, stealing my gold teeth. And then I realized that you tried to make me switch with your nephew. You tried to do the destiny swap with your nephew over there at the car dealership. Last time we went to the car dealership, and you had to see that god awful car, who I don't like. I don't like that car. But the thing about it is, I used to want that car, but now I don't want that car at all, because it associates itself with you, and I don't like you. At one point, I almost respected you, but then I realized that you are exactly what your name intends. Something that slithers and tries to get into spaces and tries to break barriers. And I realized that it's quite like you. It's almost like mixing an octopus and a snake together. You really are a creepy person. Look, mommy, no hands. So yeah, I did that yesterday as I blocked your mother's profile on my Instagram, because I'm like, why is she following me? But then when I look at the last name, I remember there's a lot in the last name, and I realized who else's last name was that, and it put me right back to the divine feminine who had all the divine masculines in her family, and I realized that there was a connection there. There's a big old connection there, because the child that I'm thinking of, his mother, one of your cousins is her baby father, and she's the grandmother to that. That's the common thread there. And she loves her boys more than she loves anything else, because her boys, regardless of whatever they do in the street, they make sure she has enough money, and they're willing to fuck up her husband if he gets out of line. So she loves them very good because they keep her husband in line. So really, she doesn't care if her sons destroy women as long as they're not destroying her. And that's how it made me think of it. I say, oh, so they must be related, because that makes a lot of sense. And being as though this girl went through a lot with her father, especially when she told me that story about her father asking to eat her kuta, and it was quite damaging, and it would be damaging if you went through that. And yes, I don't mind saying it, because this person called herself telling all of my proper business all out and about. So fair is fair. So when she told me that her father had tried to eat her quota, I realized that her brain kind of probably didn't register that well, and that would be awful. My father would never do that to me. My father actually see me coming out of the bathroom one day and stopped looking at me for 2 freaking weeks, because he just didn't want to see me in such a situation. So I knew my father wasn't that father. So proud of him to this day. And that's something that, oh, Joan Crawford would hate to hear. She hates to hear how much I love the man that she hates because he made me so confident. And that's the one thing she hates, because everybody's getting around to break me, but they're breaking themselves in the process of trying to break me. Is because I had the love of my father. To know that the love of your father would be the one thing that would make you the most despised and loved at the same time on this earth, it's crazy. It's quite crazy. It really is. But it also makes me very interesting too, because you're all fighting with a dead man and his daughter, and to see that he still has more strength than you up on this earth is quite exhilarating, isn't it? So as you continue to make these little girls fight my ghost, you're fighting daddies. You're fighting the ghost of the confidence that he gave me every time he said he loved me and clapped for me and listened to me sing and perform. You're fighting the fact that you want that from me, and I'm quite satisfied because he did satisfy his contract if he leave in the open. However, he had to leave quickly because he seen that you were getting the heebie jeebies and you really wanted to pounce on him and me at the same time, and he couldn't protect me here on this realm. So pass away he did. However, y'all told me to leave the room, and I'm not sure if you smothered daddy or not, or you just gave him something else. But by the time I came back from getting him some ice, daddy was gone. And that was really the last time I really spent time with my oldest brother. It was when daddy was gone. Last time I seen him, he came to I guess he came to make sure that Charles still looked like he was related to me. But honestly, I think that man had big designs on jumping into my father's shoes and trying to act as though he was going to get the rest of my father's money from me. And that is that. So let's go on. Let's go on. I'd like for you to continue to act dumb, but I'm not going to do so much with you. So I'm sure you know I'm talking about you and Margot and whoever the hell else or whatever, because I know you have enough time to sit there and watch all of my stuff. Yeah, you, Tyrone and Harvey, all of you watch my things and follow me closely because of the bikers thing. I remember I started blacking out a lot and cussing out the bikers around when they would get around me because they were trying to do things to me and put things in my drinks all the time. Yes, the bikers. Yes, the bikers, them. And then when Ty started really trying to push himself for me, it was like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're older and then you keep forgetting things and you won't put your freaking teeth in your mouth. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to do that? So thank God that my father, he bought me my kitten heels and he took me on to church and he got me baptized and he let me sing and he let me be great because he knew you guys didn't want me to be great. And the only reason why I got dressed up as good as I did when I was younger was because my mother knew that if she didn't spend that money on me, she wasn't going to have access to it. So she pretended as long as she could. And the minute that man left the earth, it was on like Donkey Kong. Okay? Fortunately and unfortunately for me, we're here now. And now I do understand that when on our departure from Rosewood, that is when things were definitely really, really put into plan because she was in fear of losing that job that she always had for such a long time. So there was desperation between 2009 and 2010 because the place was closing. And she wasn't sure she was going to be able to go on the way that she was able to live. So a lot of people got robbed in that process. Sorry, little gal. Oh my God, not little gal, because you think you're my big sister. However, you're just someone who came out of the same cooter, but we did not have the same mom. Take what you like. Now, she robbed you, you and Aunt Tammy, or whatever her freaking name is, and then your dad triangulated you because he's like, why didn't I have a Lexi? I had a you. And you got upset when he wanted to train me at the gym because you knew without doubt that I could build the body that I needed to build. So you decided that daddy had to go. Such an emotional creature you are. Oh gosh. And so on and so forth and so on. And I became very aware of how many things that you were able to do or mix up. You like to mix up a lot of fluids and do a lot of nasty things. And did your children figure out what I was talking about the other day? How you were basically taking, you and your mother were helping take away things and helping get people put away and pushed away and did this and did that. So sorry for Daryl. Daryl told you he didn't like the way you treated me, didn't he? He did. That's why he got disappeared. And he still didn't leave you any money. I laughed at that because I saw you in the moments where you thought you thought I wasn't looking. I saw you crying about it. You was like, damn, he didn't leave me the money. So on with it, and then you recruited the boys, the boys, the boys. You told them if they, as long as they paid bills, they could do whatever they wanted in your house, including attack me. And this is why you were so upset when I used to just get off and leave. And then on top of that, you kept threatening my daughter, and then you kept making him bring me back because he really couldn't do anything because you had him by the balls in the law. So, and you were, he didn't know, but I knew. For some reason I kind of knew that you were just doing things behind the scene that was making, because I was like, my daddy wouldn't do that, and he would come and he would drop me off McDonald's and a few dollars, and I'd be like, why just don't take me with you? I don't want to stay here. And I realized that you were pulling the strings the whole time because this man couldn't get away from you without going through extreme law stuff. So he tried to have a backbone with you. It's just, unfortunately, having a backbone with you exposes me to all sorts of abuse. So when I was able to get out of your hands, you got pissed off and you decided you were going to send men to put me back in your hands. And they were weak and they couldn't hold on to me either. And they would get upset and run back to you like, why won't she stay still? And it's like, because I was raised by a real man. Not so. And he taught me how to drive, and I knew how to drive long distance. And you got really pissed off when you saw evidence of me being just like my dad when I drove all the way to Paris Island, and I looked at you as though you were the weakest thing in my fucking life. And you were, and you were. It's just that you never wanted me to figure out. You were the weakest fucking thing in my life. And you wanted to remain so strong. I don't understand why you want to lie so much when I watched you just be taken advantage of a pure worm. I called him Eggy because I feel as though he's very fragile. Stupid and fragile. A pity. What a pity. And the thing about it is, you went about gallivanting the city and coaching them on being something that they were not. And I watched them as they all came out of their skin, tried to be something they were never. And when they started to take on some of your traits, it was like, fuck this. I don't need this shit. I don't like you. So anybody that act like you would make me want to get away from them. Why would I be attracted to anyone like that? That means you were doing sweetening spells and love spells, not because you love me, not because you wanted me, to be sweet to me. It was because you wanted to soften me up so I could let these bastards and these pedophiles and these murderers and these poisoners and all these dissemblers to come around me and not be aware. So this is what you were doing the whole entire time. But I'm so glad that I got you and your pets away from me and my underwears. Yes, you guys were stealing a lot of my underwears because it's my essence you want to dress itself in. You guys are fucking weird. And it says a lot to the thing that you have between your legs. It's worth shit. I'm so glad my father went to go and find varieties of beautiful women who were not shitless like you. It's awesome. And Grandma Lewis knew it when you kept spying on her velvet wallpaper. All you seen was money. You didn't see love. You didn't see a new family. You saw something you wanted to dominate and control, because in your family, you were just a foreigner who had came over and who had barely gotten by just having sex and making babies and then being able to access social service and then a work program. And all you seen for yourself was that, but you never built upon the fact that you had a nice voice and you had a nice figure, but you didn't use it for anything but to put yourself into the system. Now, am I right? Am I right? No, I'm not asking you to give me an answer. I'm just saying it as a matter of fact. Who the hell wants to be a baby factory and they don't like fucking babies? And that's what pisses me off about you, is because there's a lot of you making babies and you don't like babies. You just want the benefits of having the babies. And it's a very disgusting thing. And people always putting it on men, but it's a lot of you nasty ass women like that. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. wouldn't act like that if you weren't given the green light. They wouldn't. You were giving the green light. You always give the green light. When you guys go about and you show your daughters to men and you know that these men aren't really sexually involved or sexually inclined to you, but you say, you know what, let me show you my daughter, show you what I used to look like. Baby, you've never looked like me. You look like something, but you never look like me. But the thing is, you use me for advertisement, and then I wonder why these get the same guys that would try to suit you would try to come after me. Is because you're showing my picture, you're showing my picture around, and you're saying things that will make it seem like I'm loose and you're tight. So you would be the better. You would be the better. But the thing is, most men are not thinking about who's loose and who's tight. They're saying, who the fuck can I fuck? And they're going to try everything around you because look at you, you're advertising. And the worst part is then some of these men, they go off with these other women and they have them in triangulation with me. They'll be actually, some of the women, they won't get the chance to see me because they know if they get a chance to see me, they'll probably look for me or they'll try to start dressing like me. So a lot of you guys, the smarter ones, I'll say, they don't show me to them. They just compare. They make a lot of comparisons. So a lot of times the women don't even know who they're in competition with. They just know that, why is this man asking me to do this way? Why does he have to have it fixed this way? And you're trying to figure out, well, where did he get this from? Why does he requesting it this way? It's because I've done it that way. They've seen me do it that way and they want to get you to do it that way. One idiot is really getting a PhD in making rice because he really wants to be back with me. He doesn't want to be with you, but to be with me would means he would have to be a man. So piss off, stay with that one. To the rice PhD you'll get. Learn how to make it in a bag, in a drag, in a rag. On a toe tag. You're going to learn how to be me, whether you want to be me or not, because I'm not coming back. And shout out to the new ass wiper. I'm not coming back to do that either. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not coming back to do that either. The new ass wiper. I'm not doing that at all. But he's going to tell you, you got to do it this way or that way or this way or that way. Or I see this person does this way. That person is a good mother. That person is a this. That person is a good driver. That person does it. And you all in competition with somebody you've never met. Or you're putting people in competition with somebody that they've never met. Or some, they actually do go through the phones. They go through social media. They see who you've liked. They see who you follow. And they end up following me. And it's so funny when they do it because then they start to pick on me. I see you, you bastard. I hate you and Stephanie both because she's a bitch. And you're a bitch like her. Anyway. Am I being clear? Yes. You and your counterpart start pursuing me and I can't stand you fuckers. You don't love a fucking thing about me. You like what I can do. You like how I look. You like how I make the women in your life act stupid and desperate. You love that shit. I love it for you, but keep them wenches from around me. By the way, have you gotten my book, Inside Gossip? It's by me, of course. I'm doing like a thing, so bear with me. But yeah, Inside Gossip is the book that you really, really need to see. It has a lot of tea, and it has a couple of my premonitions in there. But you see the world that we're living in now. That's why you should read this book, because it will give you a few clues as to what you should do or what you can do or the things that you could think. Don't forget, Inside Gossip. It's on Amazon. It's Barnes and Nobles. You can order it through Rose Dog Bookstore. Be sure, or if you ever see me out in the streets, I do have a few physical copies. Okay, I'll have them. I'll have them. Yeah. I knew it wasn't a Percocet, but I still ate it because I'm a gremlin. See, I paid attention. I paid attention, but I stayed away because the simple fact of the matter, y'all not safe for me. You're not safe for me because the simple fact, y'all will put me through a lot of stress rather than treat me right. You tried to breadcrumb me through life. I am worth way more than the things that you've done or the things that you've put me through. I'm looking at this damned. Interesting. So how long am I supposed to have been gone or missing or some shit? Because I'm looking at my grandfather's obituary and I realize I'm not nowhere near this fucking obituary. So that means that you guys have been using me as a family member for quite some times. Yeah, Jessica, she's a dick eater. Do 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 do. Oh, there's a couple quite dick eaters in this one. Yeah. Oh yeah. The reason why Tavon couldn't never get around because he was a rolling paycheck. He's never gonna have any money because you guys spend it before he could get it. Now he's got to come kiss your ass to get $30 or get a wife. I wonder, does he realize he's a rolling vagabond at the hands of his stepfather? Oh yes, Felicia was very complicit in that, and that's when you went on to the next plain Jane, who allows you to do the same exact thing to Tavon again. Generational madness, and you call yourself a preacher, man of the cloth. Oh, Domino Sugar haven't made you sweet enough, but it's all right, you bastard. Who took my money? Who took my money from my inheritance, my part of the thing? Because as I understand, all of the grandkids were supposed to get some. And the reason why I'm seeing this obituary and it doesn't have anything in it, but for me, is because you didn't give me my cut. And I didn't offer you, and I didn't give you permission to take anything that was mine, whether it be on my patriarchal side or my matriarchal side. So what's going on, and give me my shit now. I'd like my golds returned back. I don't give a damn how many times your cousin says he loves me. The fact that I had to basically block your mother on Instagram means that you've definitely been keeping an eye on me physically and spiritually, because you guys do tap in. I know the Masonic order and all that good shit because I paid attention to the marine law and all that stuff that I was being talked to and talking to you all about, because I don't usually talk about things that I don't plan on going to research. Now that we're here. So, shout out to the brother that I never got to meet, that I really never got to meet because he was being held away from me. Because if we were ever to speak of anything, a lot of things would have been answers. Shout out to this bro. And shout out to this bro, because we actually had a chance to talk, but the thing about it is he wasn't supposed to talk to me. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that awakening and getting people into a better mental state in their life was something that I wasn't supposed to do. You guys were paid to keep people, the good people, down. Okay. There's a lot of suns around me. Real ones are drowning. Get the fuck from around me. Ho, 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 ho. Okay, so you know Baby Keem. Baby Keem is a great, great, great artist. I really like him. I support him in the things that he's saying, because he's saying a lot of things that I would have said if I would have been able to get to the mic. However, a lot of you got together and paid a lot of people to not let me. You guys put a lot of red tape and yellow tape around me because you knew I was talented. It's just that you wanted some coochie first. No. I will not allow you to be the gatekeepers or control the thing that I love the best, which is going to stay on rest, okay? Only the greatest guy shall experience me ever again, because I've come across you and I loathe you. And I think God brought me so far is because he wanted me to be able to see you guys go through the worst things without having a bit of care. So I'm probably going to pop popcorn when the worst things of the life are happening for you. No, I'm not going to look or pursue to see what is going on with you. I'm just going to enjoy my popcorn and know that God is on my side. Much like Nationwide. Nationwide is on my side. Insurance. Yes, insurance agent. What the fuck did you do? What did you do? Did you fuck up your life? Did you allow somebody to enjoy funds and I'm still here? Did you allow somebody to get something off of me and I'm not of ill repute? My health is not compromised. No one gave me anything that would allow any term life insurance payments. And certainly I'm not married in this state or in another province or in another country. So what have you guys hooked up? And the fact that I know that it would be a lot of good things coming if I were to allow you to have all of my intellectual property. So we're going to run that back, okay? We're going to run all that shit back and realize that you are not what you thought you were. And I'm everything you want to be. Because why are you fighting me? You're sending a whole freaking neighborhood to look crazy around me, and they're looking crazy instead of me looking crazy. And I'm just trying to figure out, why do you want to take my child? And then you want to enjoy your child. For one of you have a child that I really like. She's a lot like me. She's a lot like me. And the bad thing about it is, I can't have any heart if anything happens to this child is because you guys put me in danger. And that sucks because I really wanted to be a good advocate for people's children. However, I'll have to do it from afar. And no, I cannot stand in the way, and I cannot pray for anyone that has definitely tried to prey on me. So don't come and don't ask. Yes. Yes. I'm still warm in the heart. I just don't like you. I don't have any cause when it comes to you. Anything can happen to you right in front of me. Everybody who's done it. I mean, even everybody who's done it. Even the one you deemed closest to me, the one that you thought could really break my heart. Yes, yes, yes. The one who bore my body for 9 to 10 months and literally almost looks exactly like me. Yeah, I've disconnected from that one too. See, the thing about it is when you realize the life that you're living and the things that you have to, you know what you might have to disconnect from, you know what you might have to connect to. The thing about it is, it's your problem now. Whatever you did, whatever you told my child, whatever program you've put into him, just know that he has a bit of my DNA in him. So you have to deal with that fallout now, okay? All right. You've accepted that. I know he now understands exactly what's going on. And I can't return. I'm not making any U-turns. So you all have to deal with that fallout. Do you now understand the volume of how this is going? I don't give a fuck about any of the ones who I know knowingly went into, especially Sandra. Now I'm very happy that Shantira took everything from you. I'm so happy that she took your nickname and she took whatever little shit that your little conduit, your handler, took from you and gave to her. Shout out to her underwear business, the one that you can't have. You see how this shit works? While you were trying to take things from me, things were being taken from you. You just were so arrogant. You didn't think that that was happening. And the bad part about it, he might have compromised your health a bit because I know the circle that my ex-husband was running in, and it was definitely the same circle that that guy was running in. So when I came to you and I said, hey, you know he's sleeping with that young girl that I met when we were back in Rosewood, and he's sleeping with you, and he's sleeping with this one, and he's sleeping with that one, and then I found out that him might have been sleeping together because that's the weird shit they do in the group. They harness everybody's sexual energy. So the fact that you've been going back and forth between him, the strip club, people that you think I've messed with, and all those other people means that you're just a whole cocktail. You were one of those cocktails just running between your legs. So it's really only a matter of time before you really come undone. The fact that a lot of these messages are being held for by review means I got somebody flipping the frick out. And I don't care. I don't care. All of the care went out of the window when I started seeing you guys throw babies and kids at me. When you were throwing all of these children at me, it was like, what the hell? You guys don't have any quit in you, do you? And then when the perv decided to grab my water at the market and lick his tongue out and make all these nasty gestures toward me in the market, and I'm looking around and the security guard is just holding on to his chest, just looking at me. He wasn't looking for to do anything to the person that was basically accosting me and trying to push past my boundaries. He was looking in my face to see when he was going to try to call the police on me so that one of you perverts could lead me into a tunnel and cast me away into a life of sexual combustion where people will be using me at will because you guys can't stand the fact that I won't let you use me for $1 or 2. I don't want to be a concubine. I don't want to be a sex slave, and I don't want you to sell me into one. However, you guys would be the same ones. No, some of you guys would sell your own daughters into sex slavery as long as you thought you were going to get the biggest cut. And some of you are very nasty. Some of you have already done it. I won't say who. The fact that you know is enough for me. So a lot of you are bound to the devil. The very same devil you try to sacrifice me to. A lot of you are bound to there. And the fact that I actually walked down into that tunnel underneath that building and saw what I was looking at means that I know exactly where you be going. Your final place where they're going to lead you into another tunnel, and we'll never see you again. Yes, I remember. I remember everything. Everything. I remember. Especially that time when you returned me back home and you told everybody that I blacked out and cussed you out. You knew exactly what the hell was going on. You were padding my record to make it seem as though, yeah, and then you got me to tell my son that he was in charge of me for that night. But I never signed any papers because y'all was trying to take advantage of me. Y'all always trying to take advantage of me. And it says something to y'all humanity. So when I find you in situations, I won't care. I'm likely to see you go into asphyxiation and tear up my CPR card just because of the way I've been treated. However, for my collective, I'll always be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Just call my name and I'll be there. Don't you know, baby? Yeah, yeah. I'll be there. I'll be there. Just call my name and I'll be there. So the paperwork bandit, return of the Mac. Hell no, return of the Mac. Anyway, so yeah, now that I know that you did that petty shit, and I know that you coaxed somebody on that paperwork because that's what you do all day. You sit around and you figure out how to make angles and things out of paperwork and go through shit legally, illegally, the way you fucking do. So knowing that my ex-husband isn't that goddamn good at it, and some of these wenches aren't that good at it, I know he had to come through you because you are the one that's going to comb through the law and ask all of these questions and get all these papers filled out and try to legally, illegally do it as much as you can. And the fact that you're so close to that bastard Scott makes it all make sense to me. The fact that you want only your man child kept isolated while you allow all of your female children to bear the elements lets me know exactly what type of person you are. The conversations we've had lets me know exactly what type of person you are. It lets me know that you are a person, and even in the situation that you are in, You would try to take full advantage of a person because you know that you are at every chance able to be taken advantage of, and that sickens you. So that makes it justifiable in your mind that you would put people through things because you are vulnerable too. So you seek to make people vulnerable, just as vulnerable as you, and you justify it by the things that you've gone through, so you don't mind going through things because yeah, it's you, it's really you. And you have a nerve to say, I like going to church, I like going to church. You like going to church because you like pulling strings on people. And you know that when people are faking the Holy Ghost and shit like that and you're watching it, sometimes you like to put a little spin on it yourself. And everybody is unawares as to your mental capacities, but I know because you tried it with me and you got so freaking pissed off that you couldn't do anything with me at the time. That's why it really became really hard pressed for you to really get me low vibrational. And the only way you would get me low vibrational was to become an alcoholic. And I'm not an alcoholic. I don't like alcohol that much. That's why I wouldn't get drunk, but I would get tipsy and black out because God was like, no, I can't make her an alcoholic. We can't let them be make her an alcoholic. And I slipped a little bit when I started having fun, and that's what got me a little trapped a little bit. But I came up out of it like a freaking phoenix. And boy, you're about to go through it from your own works. I'm not going to pick up any instrument on you because you picked up so many instruments repeatedly and purely that I'm going to sit back and watch you all fall by your own inventions. Quite interesting, you see. The ailments that you can't really explain when you go to the doctors. All you got to say is it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. You can't say that you've been playing in period blood and pig blood and deer blood and crushing bones. You can't tell them none of that shit you've been doing. You can't tell them that you've been eating underwears and shit like that and menstrual blood. You can't tell them that you've been doing that shit purposely in order to gain power and harvest things. You can't tell them that you put on those cloaks and you guys are buggering each other, talking about some power exchange. Even sometimes your own very own cousins. Yes, you get together and you have a jet cycle and you guys extract power in the Roman ways from each other. You think I don't know it? Yes, I do. And the worst of you put your kids right in the middle of it. That's why I don't like the fact that you keep transporting these kids in the middle of the night and the wee hours of the morning, because what the fuck are you doing with them that they can't be sleeping and enjoying a good life, right? What is it? What is it that they're in and out of everybody's house and spending the night over? You know, you can't trust everybody, and you can't trust kids with other kids, especially when they've been exposed to certain things. I know that certainly. So the scum of the earth are right there in your face. You just have to pay attention to who's always wielding the money while constantly going down. And one of the biggest kickers is somebody able to live in filth and fragmented environments. The more fragmented and filthy your environment is, the more I know you're susceptible to the dirty ways of the cult. And even some of the cleaner of you, you have certain peculiar ways that you keep certain things, and that makes me know that you are susceptible to the occult. Especially when you start talking in those ways, in those most selfish ways, in those encrypted ways, when your voice and your words don't match. The smile on your face, it's like a grimace, a really toothy grimace, but you're smiling, and your intention is for somebody to feel as though you're having good intentions, but you don't have any good intentions because you haven't had good intentions since you've acted your life up being in that occultist type situation. A lot of you are the reason why your kids are locked up, why some of your kids are dead, why some of your kids are in the worst relationships ever, is because you put them there because you accepted some kind of money or bribe or something to stay out of the way as the abuse goes on, because you gain in some way, whether it be connection or affection or currency. It doesn't matter. You all are willing to allow some things to happen as long as you benefit in some way, and that's a problem. That is a problem. The world needs a lot less of you. Unfortunately, I've been able to comb through you all and exactly get a master's degree in all of the lowliness. So now it's time for me to go on to better heights. I don't deserve a person like you, and you don't deserve a person like me. Nothing is balanced at this time as long as I'm in your presence. So let me do my due diligence. Really, it's coming very soon. It's coming very soon. So I have to do my due diligence because none of you deserve me and didn't deserve me at the time. The problem was I was really good to you guys, and you felt like I had an anger as to being good. I don't. I'm not selling myself. I've never had to sell myself. It's because you've always wanted me around, whether I had something to do or not. It's just that when you got around other people and and you were able to make them perform based on the things that I did and did not do, you felt as though that was good. That was making currency. Really, it was just shutting you away from me and things like me. I never had an anger. I was actually the person who I was. It didn't matter. I'm always going to be who I was. And the problem was you couldn't get me to stop being professional with you. You always thought you could leverage me into one of your little holes. And I didn't want to be one of your little holes because I didn't see any goodness in it. It seems as though everyone you touched and you could not control, you tried to destroy. Remember the military girl who you wanted to be with and you tried to destroy her, which you probably did. I'm not so sure she doesn't work for the Spanish Inquisitor. I'm sorry, the Mayflower Company. I'm not sure because that's what she'll do. You'll break down a woman so bad that she'll actually start working for you as long as she can make a certain amount of money and get a certain amount of pasture. And that's quite good for that person, but the thing about it is you don't mind making a person a criminal in order to serve your own purposes. And that's the kicker. You have turned quite a few great people into some not so good people by way of signatures, paperwork, and pushing things through. So the white collar crime has definitely picked up around you because after you've done your blue collar crime, now you want to do the white collar crime, right? Okay. Thing is, when you get to the white collar crime, you have to pay like you play, and you try to use me for payment. Unfortunately, I'm going higher than this, baby, so I'm not even on your length. So down there, find another payment. I don't want to be part of this shit anymore. It's a shit show. And honestly, I need you to take that witch, what? Joan Crawford, Mommy Dearest. She needs to experience the things that she's put me through because no one deserves that. I didn't ask to be your crotch fruit, okay? I didn't ask to be even positioned next to your crotch fruit. I'm really your crotch fruit because the little bastards used to tell me that I was adopted sometime because they said I was too light to be in the family. How stupid is it to be racist in your own fucking family? And then I realized the lighter of the ones actually did have to go through more than the darker of the ones, right? And this is why Sherry sits there with all them freaking kids, right? Exactly. But she benefits in a way because she allows some shit to happen too, right? I cannot wait for Jay's daughter to grow up. She's going to tear your ass apart. I can't wait for the next set of youth that I've given the answers to come up. They're going to tear your asses apart. Ooh. Some of your kids are going to grow up, and as they get to know you more, you're going to find yourself more lonely. You're going to find yourself going way more far in between meals than you think you should, in between visits than you think you should, all because they understand how much you've leveraged them and their parents and their parentage and their motherhood and everything. Oh, yes. Especially for the super stepfather that is the super stepfather. He doesn't mind anybody having kids as long as the kids stay the fuck away from him so that he can make sure that their own life insurance policy so that he can benefit from anything that happens to them. Even though he's closer to the grave than anybody else, he plans to do it with a bang, okay? He plans to do it with a big old bang. He really doesn't care about any of the kids that come into his facilities and his sites or anything like that. He pretends very well because he has to make the investment. He has to make the investment look very good. And being with a teacher does make it look like it's very good, even though it's very clandestine at best. we do see how Nick Shirley and all these other people are coming through, and they're basically supporting everything that I'm talking about now, especially with this new Millier case, Milliette, Millier or something like that, right? That case where they did find that there was a high priestess that ended up being a man who actually was Masonic, and he was making people's dreams come true. And then the woman disappeared, and then all this other stuff. But that's the Millier case. I don't want to be a Millier case. But of course, you guys have done so much magic, but it's backfiring because I am not vibrating the way you want me to vibrate. So, return to sender, return to sender, return to sender. Enjoy. Enjoy. Birds of a feather. Anyway, so let's go on with it because people came to see me. They didn't come to see you, Otis. They came to see me, right? So now that I've given another set of answers, and the fact that I can't see any of these damn messages means that it's somebody saying some things that they may not want to say in public, but it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me because you all are so smart. You're so smart that I was never supposed to find out. You all was stealing from me, head over heels, stealing from me, stealing life force, stealing energy, stealing money, and stealing my ID. I really don't like the fact that you guys are stealing my identity and had some of these little funny looking fuckers running around in my goddamn energy, feeling as though they are something like me and they're nothing like me. They were just getting very close to my demographics, and I don't like that because there were HIPAA violations, OSHA violations. Then you had that funny looking ass supervisor running around stalking me in that white Volvo at night, looking like a deer caught in headlights every time I looked straight dead in her eyes and rode past her, especially that night I was on my way to the airport. I don't like that fucker. I don't like it. Tia Grainhill, yeah. The one who really tried to go into my devices and continue using them after I quit, after I fucking quit. I quit. Yes, I did. I think it was November the 12th I quit. 1/12. November the 12th, bless you. November the 12th is when I had quit that job. However, she was going to continue trying to pursue me for something because I wasn't supposed to quit that job. But you were bullying me on that job. You, Janet McDaniels, whatever, Washington. I slipped and called her a bitch one day, but I covered that up. But the thing about it is, you, Nicole, but all of you participated in putting me on some stupid blacklist, all because I allowed my mother, who lied and told me she was looking for a job for what, Miss Shipman, her, I guess it was her download girlfriend or whatever. Because why are you looking for a job for somebody else, and I'm your daughter, you're never looking for anything from me, right? So that's when I realized that you were actually getting numbers to my job and asking me to give you a recommendation, when in fact you were going up, you were actually getting hooked up to my job so that you can give me a bad reputation. Bless you, baby. Stay out of your nose. You want some water? Here, drink some water. There you go. So yeah, that part. So I did pay attention to the details of why you got so hard up and had to have a line to all my jobs. Why you won't let me do this for you? Why you won't let me work for you? Why you want me? Because you would go to these jobs and you would talk to these people in such a way that would make it seem like I was a thief or a bad person, or I would go and hunch their husbands, and that was very much not the case. I'm a very professional person, and I don't plan on being anyone's whore or prostitute any fucking way. If anything, if anyone's going to lay down and produce anything from my sacred energy, it's going to be me. And you got upset. You said, Lexi is real good about keeping money to herself, because I know you're a fucking thief. You stole from your daughter. You blamed it on me. I don't know what you did to Ruthie, but I'm pretty sure y'all got money for whatever experiment you allowed to happen, because she was the one taking lithium. Y'all let that girl get experimented with lithium. And she ran to me when she ran away from the place in the woods, and she told me, she was like, they are letting them people put medicine in me that they don't even know it's going to work. And here we come with the Tesla, and they have lithium batteries. And this is why I don't want a Tesla no more. Especially because of you, dear. Fuck you. Especially when your funny looking daughter kept staring at me in my face as though she was trying to pull my voice out of me. If you can't sing, you just can't fucking sing. Staring at me wouldn't give you a damn note. Shit. It's revolting how many of these disgusting females you sent toward me thinking that they were delusional. What the hell kind of hypnosis did you put these crazy wenches after? Or what did you put in their cup? Because I know you allowed him to get drunk because you don't drink anything, you don't smoke anything. So it's indeed you probably was the one. You're the one who sucks in the incense and gets high off of incense, aren't you? Freaking weirdo. It's something weird. So I've got Temperance, the Nine of Swords, and I've got Death here in front of me. Sagittarius, Gemini, and Scorpio. Am I right? Am I right? I'm not asking you really. I just know. I just dropped the card. All right. So we have Capricorn as well. We have Sagittarius, we have Gemini, we have Scorpio, and we have Capricorn. Okay, so Temperance, Nine of Swords, someone's not getting sleep, someone's really got death on the mind, and Two of Pentacles, meaning things of polarity. So a lot of people are going to be having a poker face right now because they don't like what I'm saying, even though they know what I'm saying is true and it's registering. And the thing about it is, a lot of times when the truth comes out, that's when the heart has to accept it. You know how when Bugs Bunny, look at this at the bottom, you know how when Bugs Bunny runs off of the cliff and he looks down, and the reason why he doesn't fall is because reality hasn't set in him. But once he realizes and he looks down and he sees that he's no longer on solid ground, that's when he falls, right? That's what it's much like. So a lot of you were able to hold on and not have a poker face right now while reality wasn't sitting in your face. But now that I've said what I've said, now you understand that things have come round. Things have come round circle, right? So please have your temperance and be as strong as you wanted me to be as you were doing the shit that you were doing, all right? So now that we have the Nine of Swords here, don't worry about having sleepless nights. That's what you wanted for me. So indeed, it would have to go back to you. So do the best you can, right? Roll over, find a soft spot. You've made your bed. So now we have death and transformation. You know what? I'm not going to explain this because it explains itself. It's a 13. That is what it is. And then we had a Two of Pentacles, which is the balancing out of polarities, which means things have to be righted, right? What goes up, what comes down. And really, the world didn't deserve the thing that you did to it. So it has to be right. You know what I'm saying? So the salt of the earth has to be balanced out in a way because you tried to dilute it in a way. You know what I'm saying? You tried to take a lot of things from the earth that the earth really needed in order to grow, like bees and love and water and vegetables and reciprocation and, you know, real marriages, because you tried to pollute the whole entire dating pool with all of these shocks, and then not realizing that that was something God really put together so that other things could happen. And when you decided to go after the contracts, it was like, he was like, oh, hell no. They're going to start messing with all the contracts. That means that you're going to have people coming before God on a regular basis with intentions on lying and stealing from the Holy Kingdom, stealing from the Solomon Island. We can't have that. And you guys got very close to snatching things from the Solomon Island, and that's what we cannot have. We cannot have that. So we got to walk you back and realize you guys can't be getting married off of false pretenses, off of false love, and going in front of the Father and making all these vows when you don't believe in Jesus, even though you have the biggest Jesus piece. All right, so pay attention as we go in forward. Like I said, the temperance, yes, the temperance is here. That is 14, right? So we're going to turn that into a 5. And then we got the Nine of Swords, which means sleepless nights. We got graveyard. So somebody's being visited by the Grim Reaper quite often. Maybe they're just getting prepared before he really takes you. Maybe he just wants to talk to you a couple of times and make sure you're all right before he takes you on the journey, or make sure you get your affairs in order. But whatever, if you don't get your affairs in order, if you do, it doesn't matter, because when he's ready, he's going to take you, because you've been trying to get me taken. And I swear that last Friday when I told you I felt something push me, I said, oh, they're really trying to push me into a damn grave. All right. It was meant for me to take it. And you guys wanted me to fight you back with your own devices. But really, God said, no, I want you to feel how hard they're really going after you, and smile. And I started smiling because, damn, I really am important. Very, very important. I shut down the town. Quite literally. I've seen it myself. Hi, Commissioner. Hi, Commissioner. Miss Johnson, is it? Hi. Hello. How are you? I don't know. what you were doing, but it was very, 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 very obvious in your eye and your body contact that you really didn't plan on doing your job when I visited you and I wanted to bring my papers by. You were so busy all of a sudden. I looked in the little mirror thing that you have there in the hallway and I saw that you could see me coming in. So what you did, you start spreading papers about. And you said, oh, you can give me your papers, but I'm going to take a while. And I was like, oh, that's leverage. That's bitch leverage. I like it. I've got that too. So when I realized that you were going to take my papers and then call people and put things in place so that you could finagle your thing and finagle these people out of the way, I realized that I needed to add you onto the list of people who need to be looked after. Because why should I not get due process because you want a fucking BMW or you want some more nails or you think that you're going to bend over for someone else's husband and look cute, right? That part. And that's why I don't like that, because you guys like to be buppies. All right, I call them buppies is because you don't understand that you are the ones that keep us in slavery. See, when you get your little your little jobs and you get your little cars and you get your little houses and things, you forget that other people need to come up and get houses and cars and things that they like. But you tell yourself that you are the gatekeeper now, and then you get your little friends and all of you say, yeah, we're going to pick you, we're going to pick you and pick you. So what if God did that to you? What if God took you for about 15 years and treated you exactly the way that you've treated people? You would say that it was unfair. You would say that there was some bias here, there was this and that, but you yourself are very biased. So you may have to go through a season in which you watch no power be in your hands and watch all power be had over top of you. Would you like that? Would you like that? Now, see, that's how I felt as a regular citizen. I don't know you, don't care about you, but the thing about it is you had a job. You had a job to just process my papers and get them where they need to go. It really didn't have to do anything with you, but the fact that you took it personal on your body, you took it personal when I walked in and you told yourself you were going to be the one to stand in the way because you were going to get the bonus from whatever you stopped me from doing. And I looked at that and I said, oh, cha-ching, cha-ching, both ways. And I said, you know what? I'm going to walk out and not give you this opportunity because you think you're slick as shit. I'm telling you, all they have to do is make you feel as though you have a high tail and you're okay. And you're willing to cross all females from that standpoint. And the thing about it is you still have daughters, you still have a life you still have to live. Do you not think because you're at that desk that you can't find yourself in such a situation? It only takes but a moment and a flip of the script and a signature to put you in the same situation in which you were trying to put me in. Okay, so remember those angles when you are putting them angles out there. So when I walked in and I saw that you were dead serious in your face, you were going to use your profession to bully me around. It was like, oh my God, who put these people in place? And there are lots of them. The fact that I've seen mass transit shut down in order to make me late to get to my child, and then you guys want to make me lose my child, but you guys were willing to make everybody lose their child, their job, and everything just to get me caught up to take something from me and to keep somebody who doesn't give a fuck about everybody out of jail. So you think it's fair to upheaval the citizens over one or two citizens just because you have this selfish plight? Do you think that they should be aware of the fact that that any given time, all of us are paying tax dollars for you guys to do what the fuck you want and to shit on us and to look in our face and laugh at us and call us broke and treat our kids like shit? We got to pay tax dollars for you to be up in these buildings creating nonprofits from the money that you steal from us so that you can still look down at us and still ask us for support? And then you want to be creators on the damn internet so that you could get some money out of that too, and you're willing to finagle the whole system for that too? You are the new welfare. You are the backdoor welfare of life. And you have to understand, you have to walk a very tight rope when you are the backdoor welfare. Do you think all of the citizens will keep putting up with the fact that you guys keep trying to be rich off of other people while everybody else sits around and be poor? A lot of these people who are on drugs or on addictions did not ask for this in their life. They just felt as though they just couldn't get ahead, so they turned to other things. But how would they feel if they knew it was you? It was directly you keeping them from due process, keeping them from getting that housing voucher, keeping them from getting them food stamps, keeping them from getting that SNAP, keeping them changing all of the rules. Changing all of the rules so that you can catch a few, but you end up sabotaging many. Do you think everybody's going to keep participating in this farce? Some people don't know why they keep getting locked up. Some people do not know why they keep getting tickets. Some people don't know why their Amazon package are getting stolen right as soon as possible. It's because you put them on a list to keep just going through things until they succumb or break or become under your control or have some situation where they have to ask you for the very things that give them life. No, I do not think I'm the only person that's experiencing this, but right now I happen to be the only person that's advocating against this because I'm trying to figure out why would I keep paying tax dollars to my own punishment? Why would all of us keep paying tax dollars to our own punishment? Do you realize the reason why they want us to stay down and keep on these programs? They want us to stay on these programs so that we can keep feeding the system that feeds them. And I'm not talking about Trump and them. I'm talking about the very neighbors that are sitting next to you, looking at you, blaming you, claiming that it's something wrong with you, when really they are making money off of putting your ass in jail. They are making money off of sliding you to the left. They are making money off of it, and they don't have the heart to tell you that they own family member who get high every day is getting high off of the fact that they took away your possibility of going forward in life. It pisses me off that some of these people that are very much what geeking in my face, they geeking off of the same money that they got from somebody that bribed you to come by me and do something to me, steal my mail or something like that. And then I gotta watch you turn into a zombie because somebody done paid for you to get high just to get in my supply. But they trying to lock me up and say that I'm doing what you're doing. Or they paying you to say you're me. And that's not the truth. I'm not the only one that's being put in such situations, but I am the one saying something about it. And yeah, they don't like me for that. This is why they keep saying shut up and trying to discourage me and trying to confuse me, because they never wanted me to get to this point where I was done, and I want to be done with it. I'm tired of people going in and out these municipal buildings and these judicial buildings. Y'all hypnotizing the lawyers, y'all hypnotizing the judges, y'all feeding them the same shit y'all tried to feed me, and y'all having them put their jobs under the line. Before they know it, they like, damn, I done signed a few things I never meant to sign. I done took a few bribes I never meant to. I done went so far, fell so far from grace, I can't even turn back and come with a straight face and tell my loved ones that this is what I've been into. Some of these marriages y'all destroyed because y'all sent these people this way to destroy these marriages. Y'all blackmailing these people in these marriages and getting money off of that. So it's like y'all getting money off of every tear that y'all are able to conquer. And people have not woken up. All you got to do is be faithful to yourself and faithful to your cause, but you don't want to do that because you tell yourself you're going to elevate or you're going to get started or you're going to get much better than other people. But what is the real cost that you're doing here? In the long run, the truth will shake free. And what side of the truth will you be on? There is heaven here on earth. If you could get to it, if everybody wasn't causing so much hell. But they don't tell you that because they are training these Kojic goddamn preachers to tell you you got to die to get to heaven. Meanwhile, he going out in a Rolls Royce and going on trips and shit on your money. But he told you got to die to get to hell. I mean, get to heaven. What? He having a ball in hell or something? What is he doing? Because he's telling you got to die. He wants you to put money in the plate. Never mind if your bills ain't paid. Just put money in the plate. Whatever God he got going on, got you. what I call altar falter. It's something going on there. But anywho, it's a shame that we're surrounded by a bunch of churches and nobody's saved. It's a shame. It's a shame. Anyway, let's put these numbers together. 5 plus 9, that's 14, plus 13, that's 27, plus 2, that's 29, that's 11. That's ascension, symptoms. I know if you've been getting a little thing in the back, it's like ascension symptoms. But yeah, some of you are awakening, some of you are going through an active tower. It's just that you're starting to realize that the truth is there, whether you tell it or not. There's always going to be the truth. So that was 11 in all the cards that I did draw. Remember, it was Temperance, 9 of Swords, Death and Transformation, 2 of Pentacles, Sagittarius, Gemini, Scorpio, Capricorn. Next spread. Yep. So, pardon me for coming in and telling you the things that you didn't think I knew. Because you're exhausting yourselves, honey. You're exhausting people. You're exhausting people, kids. You're exhausting your resources. There's somebody still sneaking around the foundation. There's a hermit highlighting it in the dark. Hermit. Aries, Aquarius, Virgo. These are the ones that tell themselves that they're going to go hard or they're going to go home. They're going to keep doing it. They're sneaking around in the dark. They're still trying to attack my foundation. They're still trying to sneak around and steal things. That's okay. God see you. I see you. Return to sender. Anyway, like I said, 4 wands, 7 of swords. That's 11 plus 9. That is 20. 11 plus 9. Balancing polarities like the last one. Second, that's the second one ending in that. But it's 11 and then it was 2. So this the second spread was 2 balancing polarities. The first one was intuition, that was 11. But yeah, foundation, whatever makes up your foundation, that is Aries energy. Aquarius, moon, intuitive. Somebody's up at night doing this stupid shit. Aquarius energy. They're trying to think outside the box. They're trying to come up with something different. And then we've got the hermit, seeing in the dark. Recluse, but seeing. Some type of MacGyver, right? So it's somebody who's trying to come up with them some things in the dark. They're trying to steal. They're still trying to take away from this foundation because they need for me to fall so that they can feel like they up in the game. But you're not up in the game. If you got to do all that to be up in the game, you got to realize what the truth is. The truth is, the truth shall make you fall if you got to do all that to be up in the game. Okay? So that's take what resonates. Aries, Aquarius, and Virgo. 4, 7, and 9. March 79 or 97, 97, 74, 47, 74. A lot of y'all too old to be like this. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of y'all, when y'all pass away, people ain't come to your funeral. They going to the bar. As they should. They're going to be happy that that much pressure is gone off of them. They're going to be happy that that many secrets went with you. They're going to be so happy. All right, so this is the third spread. That they're going 9 of swords is back out. The 2 of swords, blind faith, Queen of swords, cut them off. 9 of swords, somebody's sleepless night. Somebody don't like to be cut off because somebody had blind faith and knew without having the answer that they had to get the fuck away from you. But now this is what you got to deal with all the time. What's wrong, baby? All right, so we got the 2 of swords, we got Libra, and we got Gemini. Okay, so take what resonates, switch it if you need to. Somebody had blind faith. They went and they used the faith of the moon or whatever, the sight of the moon. Sometimes intuitively that's what the moon is. It's being able to see in the dark. It's being able to intuitively know without having the actual physical proof. Okay, so then we got the Queen of Swords. She's nurturing, she's unbiased, but she will cut you off. She like, come here, let me cut you off, because it is what it is. It's for the greater good. Sometimes when you see things, sometimes you don't have to be convinced. You don't need a whole bunch of overwhelming evidence to realize, hey, this isn't working right, this isn't aligning with me, this doesn't make me feel good. And sometimes you gotta sometimes deal with pain of separation, because you know that the shit was not gonna work out. So somebody probably is going through the pain of knowing that they have to leave something behind because it's not going right. It's not going right. And for others of you, somebody is hurt because you did leave. You had faith enough to know that this is when you have to walk away. Some people, somebody did understand that this was the assignment. You have to walk away before you find yourself engulfed in something and you're no longer in control. So take what resonates. Sun, Moon, Rising. This was a Libra, and Gemini doesn't have to be that sign, but these are the personalities and the traits. Gemini, as above, so below, and reciprocal. Libra, balancing the scales, justice, law and order, cause and effect. Okay, let's keep going. Next spread. Sorry. I did put the numbers together, right? That was the 9 and the 2. That's another 11. So we got 11 to 11. 2, 9. So we got 11 to 11. So that was the second spread, the third spread. 11 to 11. 112. That's when I left that job. 11 to 11. 11 to 11. 11 to 11. 11 to 11. It's something I'm going to get it. It's a reason why it's kind of like that. 11 to 11. 11 to 11. 11 to 11. 11 to 11. It's something. Okay, so 8 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. Okay, we got escapism, we got 7 of Pentacles, we got gardening, and we've got someone holding on to their pentacles. Okay, we got Pisces, Taurus, and Virgo. Okay, so we got somebody wanting to escape with their pentacles, we got somebody working on their pentacles, and we got somebody enjoying their pentacles. 8 plus 7. That's 15. Plus 9. That's 34. That's 7. Something is complete. Something is complete. I'm looking at escapism. Working on your garden. 7 of Pentacles. So for this person, for this spread, someone might have Piscean energy. We have Taurus and we have Virgo. So in this spread, this could go 2 different ways. On the North Node side, we could say that someone is definitely realizing that whatever cups they have, they're going to have to escape with them. They're going to have to take them and go. Okay? Even though they've worked on them hard, they've worked very hard on it. It's a completion. They've done all that they could do. And now someone needs to go either enjoy their pentacles, or that's what they want to do. Now that's the North Node. South Node, somebody wants to run away off of what they built and what they used to do. Somebody just wants to run away from what they did with all these pentacles. 879, August 79, 97, 78, 87. I hate to think that somebody 80 something years old is really still out here living like this. But we did have the Crypt Keeper. So, yeah. So, might be a lot of older folks who are invested in this, this X cult, this X trafficking, because, you know, as they get older, they can't really naturally get women to come and satisfy their needs. They got to pay to play, and they got to be under control in some way, because a lot of these young women would not touch them with a 6-foot pole, no matter how much money they got. So they got to be under some type of control or have lack of control in order to let these men touch them. It's much like that part in 300 when them nasty looking elders, they wanted fresh meat. So they would do stuff and make rituals and make these the virgins come up to them and do these rituals and stuff like that. Just like that. Remember that part of the movie? That was the part of the movie where some people just like wanted to look away, but for the creepier ones, they wanted to try something like that, and that's what they were thinking of. So yeah, that part in 300 when they took the virgin up to the thing to get the visions and that's probably the thing that y'all had planned for me, but y'all, hell no. I pray that if you ever come that close to me, death should surely come. No, sir. No, sir. I will not be used for none of that. No. So, yes, that's exactly what you freaky bastards had in plans. Now, that's a complete cycle to that. Shoot, when y'all go, I might have to go to the damn bar. And I don't even like to drink. I'll just do it. I'll just take a shot just for you. All right, so we got the three of wands, we got the lovers, and then we got the four of cups. Okay, we got 364, 364. Almost had a whole year. So what we missing? A day? A year and a day? Something like that. All right, so three of wands, lovers, and the four of cups. We got three of wands, Aries. We got the lovers, Gemini, and we got the four of cups that is Cancer. So somebody's looking toward traveling, or they're traveling the distance, or they're just in their mind a lot, and they're just thinking of the things that happened. And lovers, we got the lovers out here. So somebody's got love on their mind, or the lack thereof on their mind. Somebody's karma is to actually not actually ever get the love that they want. It's because they've attacked so many people's love lives and relationships that they got to sit there and actually watch other people enjoy love that they'll never get. Hopefully, something happens to where they can't keep attacking people's love life, because that is bad karma. Okay, so then we got the four of cups. Somebody sitting there contemplating, and this is what it looks like. Somebody is contemplating on the cups that they have. What's wrong, Bob? Somebody's contemplating on the cups that they have. Let me get with you in a second. Somebody's contemplating on the cups what they have, because they realize that they've tainted every cup that they've ever possibly had. They actually possibly had a chance at love at some point in time, but because they have such a thing about control and domination, they'll never have a natural love. They'll always have to look over their shoulder because they always trying to control somebody. So the very thing that they try to do to other people, as they get older, they'll become more susceptible to it. They'll have to start looking at their cup. They'll start having to try to have people taste their food. They won't trust people. It'll be a lot like that. They'll become more paranoid as they come along, because they realize how many fishy offers they've had happen and how many times they sabotage love when they should have been looking for love themselves, and they would have been all right. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love. That's so the fact that you wanted to sabotage everybody else's love life means that you will sit there in a situation where nobody will love you. And I'm talking about even your kids. They're going to love you from a standpoint in which you love them. Control and conquer. And you will have nothing to say about it. You will shut up and you will be happy, because that's what you intended for everybody else. See how karma works? So really, it's not that you might pass away indiscriminately, because really your life is already dead to you, because you spend your life messing up everybody else's life. So life is really dead to you. So the only real thing you got going on is hurting other people. So please don't be selectively outraged when you just be butt hurt for the rest of your life, because you are the one who decided that you were going to be Cupid in the reverse. You wanted to put love out of reach for everybody else, so love will indeed no longer find its way to you. You will always got to pull out that wallet, that money, that bullshit, them lies, all that. You will always have to finagle to get some, because you have not let people enjoy life. There your karma. 3, 6, and 4. We got the 10, 13. That's a death to that. That's a death to love for you. So you're going to sit here and you're going to keep looking at the cups you fill, because that's all you got at the end of the day. There is no natural love coming to you. You don't deserve it. You done played around in too many people's love life. You done destroyed some of the love, a lot of the love that was offered to you. You had plenty of opportunities to have love, but because you say you have to control things, you won't have it. Period. The time for you to get love is gone. You gambled that away. Women lie, men lie, numbers don't. You done jacked up. You done crapped out in life. There go the die on you. When I say die, I mean the multiple of dice without adding sis. Dices is die. For those of you who don't know how to change things into plural that don't absolutely have anything to do with putting the S on the end. Okay, so now we've got the Nine of Wands, Wounded Warrior. You've been here before. You already know what it is. Somebody's three of Pentacles. So there's a collaboration or a third party. So you already know what's going on. And Queen of Wands is showing up very confident, very, very big. I knew that thing. It's very, very confident, very, very big. We got Sagittarius and Capricorn. This is a wounded warrior trying to go back into planning, trying to plan so that they can try to come out like this. And that's just the South Node reading. Let me give you the North Node on that. So, at best, this is somebody with experience, probably going to meet up with a tribe that's actually going to have some type of resources to help restore them back into their greatness. And like I said, if it was on the South Node, it's somebody who's been through this before and they just trying to get the last ditch plan because they still trying to come out on top. They still want to come out on top. So take what resonates, Sun, Moon, Rising. We got Sagittarius and Capricorn, Queen of Wands. 3 and a 9, that's 12, that's 3. So it's great creator's intervention. So God is going to intervene one way or another. It's going to be what God say, not what you say, not what he say, not what she say. He's going to show you how big the program could really be. However that is. All right. Remember how they did that in Wreck-It Ralph, how everything was all messed up and they had her thinking she was a glitch and she wasn't even supposed to be in the thing when the whole time of the matter is that land was her land. That whole Candy Crush, that whole thing was hers. They just tried to get rid of her. And everybody, the one king, the mad king, the one player went crazy. And he told himself that he was going to break the whole game so that she can't win. Something like that. So one of your kids, one of your sons done went cuckoo because he can't control love. So he wants to control love for everybody else. And he is... he better pray she don't meet a Wreck-It Ralph. Because that means she don't even have to have a lover. She just has to need a protector. This is the thing. Everybody don't need to be hunching to be friends and to help each other. You hunching with. Anyway, like I said, so somebody is like the Mad King that was on that video game Wreck-It Ralph. With the princess who basically didn't know she appeared. Something like that. I ain't a glitch. I might be a yeah, that part. So yeah, 4 wands, page of wands. So somebody has a new idea to keep their foundation together and somebody's fighting over it. We got the 45 and the 54, 45, 54. We got 45 right here. 4 wands, 5 of wands. So there's a lot of ideas, a lot of theologies. There's a lot of things, and there's a lot about people fighting over this. A lot of people are starting to understand what part they played in, and they don't really understand how they got wrapped up into it. However, some of them are too deep to come on out. They have indeed definitely gone too far down the rabbit hole, and you can't get out of that. Referencing Pacific Rim. Sometimes if you go down to the rabbit hole, your destruction is going to be caused. It's going to be irreparable damage. That's what they call it. So somebody has a fresh perspective and they're trying to figure out how to restore the foundation. And there's going to be a lot of fights as people try to figure out how to unravel themselves from destroying themselves because they drank the Kool-Aid. And that's why you got to be careful. I don't know why everybody's starting to mix Kool-Aid in every damn thing. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all all right? You ain't never used food coloring before or natural dyes or like purple cabbage to make things, and try natural things, because y'all trying to put Kool-Aid in everything, and I'm just trying to figure out when's the next cancer call coming. I'm just saying, I ain't trying to scare y'all or nothing, but didn't we deal with the Lake Red #2 dyes and Lake 8s and all that other kind of stuff before? Didn't we deal with that? We already got natural flavors, which we're now figuring out comes from the butthole of animals. Yes, that's what natural flavoring comes from. buttholes of animals. That's why I guess everybody running around eating, not everybody, a little bit of everybody is eating, running around eating ass because that's natural flavors, right? Who knew? Yeah, look it up. I ain't lying to you. But yeah, it comes from the butthole of an animal. Yeah, I'd rather eat chitlins. But some of you young ladies, y'all so pretty in the face. But if people knew what y'all was doing with y'all mouth, and some of y'all know what they doing with their mouth, and this is why you feel like you have control over them, because you could tell somebody, sure ain't all that, she eat ass, yeah, yeah. And it's crazy because they have some nice looking women doing some really low shit behind closed doors. And a lot of y'all won't admit that y'all taking it from these women. Y'all's actually the ones purchasing the strap, the big ass straps that y'all's purchasing for these women to use on y'all. And I can identify some of them women too. They ain't never working nowhere, but they all up on the block. Yeah, they switch hitters and they get paid lovely for it. I figured that out when you moved out Brooklyn and all them little girls kept trying to get me away from you. Is you a switch hitter? You like to be hit. You like to be hit. Especially when Dion told me that she messed with you, and I realized because Dion had already been told me she was hitting. She said she get a lot of money from hitting, and she masculine enough, so I know they like the way she stroke. So when she said she had been with you, I know you wasn't doing no bending because you ain't got shit to bend it with. You was doing, yeah, you ain't got shit to bend her over with. So I know she was tearing your ass up. Gots to be more careful. Anyway, let's move along. And that'll be a 9, which is divine. So you better pray, baby. You better pray yourself through all of these battles. And we got Aries and Leo here. With some Neptune energy, which means that we're definitely in retrograde. So there's a lot of confusion being spent around some of these situations because a lot of people don't really want you to see clearly that it's somebody right next to you that puts you in that shit. That's what you don't want nobody to see. So 4 and 5, that's a 9. So some of y'all praying to keep cloaked, and some of y'all praying for the answer to be revealed because you're trying to figure out it keep happening and you haven't figured out exactly who it is that got that angle on you. Keep praying, keep looking. They right there. They right there. Handler, stupid. Anyway, Ace of Cups, that's mental clarity. That whole male thing is right up Judy Alley because she was tearing your ass up too. And the fact of the matter is that one last name Harris is what connect you to all that other shit. That's what I paid attention to. It's a lot in the last name. Anyway, world, swords, and death. Damn, came back out 21, 8, 13. 21, 8, 13. 21, 8, 13. 21 is the world, 8 is the 8 of swords. Somebody's bonded to death. Death is next after the 8 of swords. Somebody got in the world, somebody got bonded, and now they got to worry about this happening. Somebody's health is taking a change. They are bonded to either some kind of dark entity, or they're bonded to something very dark in their life. Maybe they didn't think about their health as much. They didn't have as much protective sex as they would have liked to. They didn't get the medicine that they needed, and it just let things go on. So somebody got a chance to get off the porch. They got a chance to get into the world. Now they bonded to a dark entity. It does not have to be an STD, but it just might be a dark person. Might be somebody who won't ever let them go because they gave them some, and now they feel like they own them. And sometimes some people are so silly that they believe that he gonna never leave me alone. That's an attachment, baby. That's somebody who's willing to destroy everything you got just so that they can get some. You thinking you got that snap back because they won't leave you alone. That's actually kind of pissing me off sometimes when people think that. No, it's not flattering that you won't leave me alone. You're a cock blocker, and you don't ever want me to get to somebody who actually loves me. So you want to keep jumping in and trying to keep me away from getting love. And some people have made sure that everything in your life gets dead, gets killed, just so they can stay bonded to you. So somebody who definitely jumped off the porch and feel as though that they was doing a big one definitely bonded themselves to this ending. Death and transformation. Either you're going to die to yourself and come back a better person, or you're in a situation that may take you down into the yonder. Okay, be careful in the upper room. All right. So we got the 21 when the 8, that makes that a 29. 29 plus 13. Pardon me while I get a pencil because I keep that lead on me. I keep that lead on me. 29, 13, 12, 42. That's 6 equal give and take to the universe. Then we come out with 42 the other day when I thought it was 41 or something like that. Whatever it was. 42. 6 equal give and take to the universe. It just reminded me of the other day. People are starting to learn of reminding me of things because it makes me think of 20 other things. Shit that people don't ever think about. When you make me think of one thing, sometimes I'm going to think of 516. Yeah, all them adults led a lot of people to hell. Y'all didn't lead even y'all next generation to nothing better. You just led them to the welfare office again and back into the same cycle. So shout out to Turner Station and whatever hell y'all done let people come into with that generational bullshit. There's something definitely dark and inherent in Turner Station. I had a ride out there, and there's something really creepy about that out there. Most of the people are connected by some kind of government entity because it take a lot of vouchers and people who need government assistance get placed out in Turner Station. It's like a lot of generational that out in Turner Station. So I don't know what made me go all the way out there in Turner Station, but that's where it is. So yeah, boom, there you go. There go where your generational curse came from, straight out there, because that's where the water is. Marine spirits, something like that. Something took over your family a long time ago. It's into your mom. It came through by your mom. Your mom and your dad, whatever happened out there in Turner Station, that's that. That something out there bonded you to that water, that dark water, that Dundalk. And something about Dundalk. And something about out there. Out there. Okay, so we got that's turned into 42, which is 6, which is equal give and take to the universe. So some of y'all got to go so that some of us can live. Because if we don't, y'all going to try to take us out with y'all because y'all just don't know how to separate. And to let us live would mean that y'all basically set us up to die. And that's just the way the thing goes. It's a yin and yang here, so the earth is going to come to balance, and you got to go and we got to leave. What's up? I love you. What you need? What you need? You want something? Okay. So either he wants my attention. Well, he always gets my attention. Somebody else wants my attention because he don't usually be needy like that because he gets my attention all the time. But I'm about to do this last spread and then go be my little stinky stink because he don't want me. Do my ding ding ding. My dinky ding 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 ding. Oh. All right, so we got the 9 of Pentacles out here. We got the 8 of Cups out here. And then we got Judgment out here. Okay, so we got a 98, 89. Oh, so somebody's been basically doing this since 89. Or somebody's been doing this since 98. Then we got the 20. That's the Judgment. So 20. September. August. 20. 9 plus 8 is 17, which is the star, which is Judgment. Okay, so that's 17 plus Judgment. That's 37. That's 10, which fulfillment. Okay, so you got your 9 of Pentacles, you've got your 8, you've got your Cups. Somebody's going to leave before Judgment, or somebody's judgment is to get to leave. Take what resonates, Sun, Moon, Rising. We got Virgo, we got Pisces, and we got this Mercury right here. So somebody's ruled by Mercury and they're under judgment, big heavy. Somebody's 9 of Pentacles is being under judgment. Somebody's escapism is under judgment. So somebody who likes to basically act like shit is all sweet and act like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, somebody who likes to sit there and all the money and likes to play dumb and likes to like actually play like they don't know what's going on. Yeah, they're going under judgment, heavy judgment. The Phoenix is very, very, very a harsh judgment. So somebody's really going to go under that. Boy, boy. So yeah, they wanted to be the star, and now they're under judgment because of all of what they did, and they're with their heart is being weighed, and it looks pretty heavy. If you look at this judgment card, somebody lives this internally, and God forbid when it comes out. Okay, that is doesn't look comfortable at all. Looks like they're in purgatory all the time. Whatever they got to sit with, it looks like they got to sit with a lot of torture, but they have to make it look good. So this looks like somebody shopping and not really enjoying what they like. It looks like somebody eating and never really liking what they eating. That things don't taste right because of the simple fact they know that they have basically drained the color out of everybody else's life by way of trying to be the person, the pinnacle, and trying to be the star. So they are under severe judgment. And like I said, 17 plus 20. Excuse me. Whew. 17 plus 20. Mm, makes that a makes that a 10. It makes that a 10. All right, so let's do the best we can going forward as the world as returning back to on its axis, because it already was kind of tilted, and you guys tried to just take it and just put it all in a bunch of stuff, all because you told yourself you were more powerful than God himself, even though God is the one who put you here. God is the one that gave you the power and the strength in your arms and your legs and your limbs, but you told yourself that you could overpower anything that he would do, even though all of the stuff that you are summoning are coming by way of him allowing you to try to exercise your free will before he exercises his. Okay, so go forward, be great, and we're going to do the best we can, which is all we do, right? So don't forget your books, Inside Gossip. Like, share, and subscribe. You can definitely see me on Monday for the Reiki, and try to be a good person. Try to return back to being the salt of the earth. Love is a good thing. It's not a weak thing. It's not a thing to be exploited. It's not a thing to be killed, you know what I'm saying, out of people, because that is the truest currency. You think it's money, but if I don't love you, it doesn't matter how much money. It's called love. Love is way more powerful than any of these things that you have here on this earth that you told yourself that you need more than love. It's just that you can't leverage it, so you say money is more important, and that's okay. Just get the hell out of people's face. All right. So, like I said, you've been with Nix, and Nix has been with you. Not like that, not biblical, not at all. Okay. So, enjoy. See you later. Don't come for me.